Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the Sankirtan movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And all glories to the devotees who are participating in our weekly classes from the original unedited books of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And I wanted to say that our service is gradually unfolding. Let me see what's going on here. Rakshivari Devi Dasi. She's on the main screen. Ram Raghava. As just a name. Our work is changing as we progress forward in our participation in this mission to protect Prabhupada's legacy. Yes. And this is called opportunity. Now, when you combine the two terms, opportunity and preparation, you become successful. But there must be preparation first. So what is our preparation? Well, our preparation is chanting our rounds, studying the original books of Srila Prabhupada, yes, not the changed books. And there's a great demand for people to find these books because they're realizing now that, say, for example, the Bhagavad Gita is been changed by Jayadvaita and his group of people, and they're forbidding the printing of the original books, the original 72 Macmillan. So that's going to be possibly extinct from the world that we know because they are trying to stop it, and they're successful. They're distributing all these yellow Gitas, let's say, for a better term, or many other different covers that they're creating for that. So teamwork and preparation coming together means success. That's how you become successful in life. But you have to be prepared. So preparation is sadhana bhakti. An opportunity is the chance to distribute the knowledge to others. And Krishna explains, there is no one more dear to me than those who share the truth with others. And there's so much confusion these days, unfortunately. Prabhupada used the term yesterday, Yashodanandana Prabhu, phantasmagoria. Very interesting term, phantasmagoria. I had a post came on Facebook. You know, social media, it's time, place, and circumstance. We were reading those situations in our previous classes. So we're in a different time, a different place, and a different circumstance. We're preaching using our tools that we have, effective tools for preaching. And so a Prabhu that was coming to our program, I commented to him about Trivikram, this new person who has fallen down. Okay. So all I did was Ram Raghava, I just put two words, fake guru. Oh. I didn't give an explanation of, we don't need to go over that. It's just, that's the fact. And then he sent me a very long response, explaining how he was completely committed to Trivikram as his guru. And he would serve him no matter what he did in his actions. He would serve him anyway to the end of his life. Phantasmagoria. Just see. And he was polite, by the way. He wasn't, angry or mad or aggressive. In fact, he even had some etiquette because, generally, a lot of these neophytes, they approach us like they know what they're talking about. And when you investigate who they are, like many times, I ask them, well, how old are you? They'll say, I'm 16, 17 years old. And then they're preaching to us. Prabhupada said this, Prabhupada means this, this philosophy means that way. I just look at this and say, where is the etiquette? Who is your guru? And then they give me some name of some guru. I've never heard of the guy. He's in the disciplic succession of somebody who's a fake guru, another fake guru, and this thing is just a phantasmagoria of confusion. Yes, it is. And this is unfortunate. Yesterday, I sent one of my spies, Ram Raghava, to the Toronto Rath Yatra. Abhimanyu, actually. He goes in karmic cases he is not really a secret agent because he talks. He starts to tell them that the BBT is a fraud and all of the rest of the arguments that he makes with these people. But one of my godbrothers, Krishnadas Kaviraj, that's his name. His name is Krish Zajakowski. He made a comment to the group. There was a few Prabhupada disciples at the event. They, of course, invited me to go. I refused to go. But he said, oh, that Vishwakarma, he's in the Ritvik group. He's a Ritvik. Oh, gee, I'm a Ritvik. Excuse me, I'm not a Ritvik. I'm a Prabhupada disciple. I'm your godbrother. And would you please explain to other people what the system of Ritvik initiation is? It's not that I am a Ritvik. I'm not a Ritvik. I'm a Prabhupada disciple, and we initiate new people. We've got some new candidates that are coming, and we're very proud of them and excited for them, that they're going to become Prabhupada disciples. Prabhupada lives in sound, everyone. It's not a Vapu movement of flesh, bones, and blood. No, it's a transcendental movement. This is a yoga system. Yoga means to link. How do you link? Hold hands? Oh, let me hold your hand. Let me wash your feet. No, it's a transcendental movement that you connect with through the sound vibration from the spiritual master. We have a friend of ours, Kashiram. Now, he's got some other name now. He's a sannyasi with the Gaudiya Math. And Abhimanyu is in contact with him in Vrindavan, where he's been living for the last 16 or 17, 18 years. He was a sannyasi, then he decided to get married, he had some kids, and then he decided, I'll go back to being sannyas. He's living in Vrindavan. Okay, fair enough. And Abhimanyu made an interesting point to me. He said, they're always pushing me to read Sridhar's books. Always pushing me. That Prabhupada did not give the highest truths. Of course, the point that we would make, have you really read the books? For example, we're reading the Krishna book currently. And if you read it as a Prabhupada disciple and you listen carefully to what's being delivered to you, it's the highest truths. There's nothing higher than that. Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of Vedic literature. It's the highest truth in these troubled times of the Kali Yuga. It's the highest truth. And we all know the wonderful pastime of Prabhupada coming from India on the Jaladuta, coming here. and starting a glorious movement, a really glorious movement, who has been destroyed by fake gurus now. Destroyed completely. And the rip-off of his copyrights. It's been a tragic thing. But this person in Vrindavan, he's constantly pushing Abhimanyu. Come and read Sridar's books. I have one of them here. It was on my desk. I have so many books around. I read one page of it just to get a glimpse. Very neophyte, could I say. And I don't mean that in a pejorative manner. It's just the fact. Compared to Srila Prabhupada's presentation of Srimad Bhagavatam, this Sridhar, his writing is mediocre at best. But people are attracted because people are in the phantasmagoria, right? Rochisha Devi Dasi, the world of confusion, bewilderment. And it's everywhere. It is everywhere. It permeates everything. And so our God brother, he's saying, oh, he's a Ritvik. Well, what does that mean? That means that we are using the Ritvik system to initiate people to become Prabhupada disciples and worship him in his Vani incarnation. Do you get that, Krishna Das? Do you get it? No, you don't. Why? Because you're in Maya. That's why. And Maya is a very strong force that permeates the whole planet. Yes, it does. And people are in serious illusion. Look at this government thing right now. Hey, Ram Raghava, you're in America. There's this Bojina and Kash Patel and the lady Pam, the Attorney General. Now, somehow or other, Donald Trump is connected with Mr. Epstein, this fellow that ran that program. And now there's a dispute amongst all of them why they haven't revealed the files concerning that episode in their government, whatever it is. Well, because it's a cover-up. Everyone is covering up. Because it's the world of phantasmagoria. Get it? If you can connect the dots, you'll realize this whole world is illusion. We're not the bodies. We're the spirit souls. We're parts and parcels of Krishna. And now we have an opportunity, everyone, to distribute the truth through the Srimad Bhagavatam. And I'm going to wind up with this. Our service is changing, everyone. Yes, it is. Our things to do list. Look at yesterday, our God brother Yashoda. Now, did he imagine that 6 months ago, he'd have to make a trip again to Sacramento yesterday, drive down there, and take 15 cases of Srimad Bhagavatam to Ron Singh, where they'll be put in delivery mode through our logistics team? Did you think that you showed it? No. We never imagined that this would unfold this way, but it is. Our service is changing, everyone. Remember that. And I'm pleading with you all to catch up with the bandwagon. You know, it's going down the road and we're running beside it, and I'm going, okay, hop on, let's go. Let's start distributing Srimad Bhagavatam, Delhi editions, preaching to others. I was speaking to a God brother the other day. He goes, well, I'll see if somebody wants a set. What? You'll see. Like, show some enthusiasm. Show some determination. Be outspoken. Like, for example, if you went to the manager at the BMW dealership and you said to him, like he'll say, well, how many BMWs are you going to sell this week? Well, I don't know. I might not sell any. I'm not sure. Guess what happens, Vijaya Pandit? Boom. See the door? Go. You're gone. They don't actually have any mercy there. If you don't produce, you're fired. So in this particular way, we have to show some eagerness to please Srila Prabhupada by distributing the Delhi Bhagavatams, which we have. Please, consider it. These talks are for us to ponder while we work during the day, do our rounds. Vijaya Pandit's out selling, but he's thinking, aren't you? You're always thinking. So let's all think how we can be involved in this wonderful opportunity that's changing every day before our very eyes for those that come to these classes and hear this philosophy from us and connect the dots and take up the mission of distributing Delhi Bhagavatams with Srila Prabhupada. And we've got some other books that were coming in the near future. So lots of activity. There's a lot to do as we fall deeper and deeper into our devotional service. This is Bhakti Yoga at a very focused high level. And we're excited. We have a wonderful team of people joining together to serve the mission of Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the Sankirtan movement. We're going to move ahead with our next section of the program. And Ram Raghava's got it geared up. How long is this lecture? I hope it's long. I love it. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna. So this lecture is 4 minutes long, and it's entitled, "We Should Agree to Krishna's Desires." And also I'm excited to let all the devotees know that at the end, after the credits, we have a special footage, nectar of Srila Prabhupada, which we haven't shown yet. I've seen this video hundreds and hundreds of times, and just like Krishna's pastimes, Srila Prabhupada's pastimes are ever fresh. But I'm excited to share this new footage at the end of the program today, so please, everybody, stay around.
Actually, I just wanted to further comment. Prabhu's, we've changed the show, as you know, the production, and we're not putting time restrictions. We're changing the format. So feel free to stay as long as you can during the program and take advantage of all the nectar that we're producing for your inspiration and carrying on in this world of struggle. We're all struggling, and this is a solution to the struggle. Let's go ahead with the talk. Srila Prabhupada speaking.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam. Now it is our choice whether we want to become a devotee or whether we want to remain a demon. That is my choice. Krishna says that you give up this demonic engagement and surrender to me. That is Krishna's desire. But if you do not agree with Krishna's desire, if you want to enjoy your own desire, then also Krishna is also pleased, he will supply you the necessities. But that is not very good. We should agree to Krishna's desires. We should not allow our desires, demonic desires, to grow. That is called tapasya. Our desires we should sacrifice. That is called sacrifice. We should only accept Krishna's desire. That is the instruction from Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna's desire was not to fight. But Krishna's desire was to fight. That is the opposite. Arjuna ultimately agreed to Krishna's desire. Yes, Karishye Vachanam. Yes, I will act according to your desire. That is bhakti. This is the defines bhakti and karma. Karma means to fulfill my desires, and bhakti means to fulfill Krishna's desire. That is the difference. Now you make your choice, whether you want to make your desires fulfilled, or if you want to make Krishna's desire fulfilled. If you make your decision to make Krishna's desire fulfilled, then your life is success. That is your Krishna conscious life. Krishna wants it, I must do it. I will not do anything for me. That is Vrindavan. All the inhabitants of Vrindavan, they are trying to fulfill Krishna's desire. The cowherd's boys, the calves, the cows, the trees, the flowers, the water, the gopis, the elderly inhabitants, Mother Jasoda, Nanda, they are all engaged in fulfilling Krishna's desire. That is Vrindavan. So, you can turn this material world into Vrindavan, provided you agree to fulfill the desires of Krishna. That is Vrindavan. And if you want to fulfill your own desires, that is material. This is the difference between material and spiritual.
Make your service a postman. You can fulfill your desires. Prabhupada very poignantly points out. You have to make a choice. You have to make a choice what you are going to do with your time. And because time is our most valuable asset. And we have independent free will. We can choose what we want to do. And fortunately, we've created an environment where you can make a choice to spread Krishna consciousness by distributing the Srimad Bhagavatams and the other books, because that will help people get a clearer understanding of what is the purpose of their life. And this is the greatest service. And the other point that I want to make, and I want to show you this, hold on. These are our invitations. I took this to Markham the other day, Markham, when I went to this program. And because it says free, then everybody took one. They didn't take the Gitas, by the way. Oh, a free invitation to our classes. We have this artwork available for you. Ron Singh has it, and I think Ram Raghava can get it. If you want it, we'll try to send you the copy. You can print it where you are, wherever you are, and give these out. So there's a twofold program. You distribute books and then invite people to come to these programs. I don't know why we have over 1,500 people in our subscription, and we only have like 25 or 50 people attending. It's a very small percentage of the number of people that are subscribed. Maybe it's a technical difficulty, an algorithm, I don't know. But we'll try to figure it out in the future. But nonetheless, if you can invite your friends who are serious about spiritual life to our program, this will be a great help for them. Guru Shastra Sadhu. Guru Shastra Sadhu. So connect the dots. Let's move forward with the chanting of the bhajan by Srila Prabhupada that he's living. And then we'll have the reading and discussion from the Delhi Bhagavatams with His Grace Yashodanandana Prabhu in California. Hare Krishna.
side. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janagandana. Yashodanandana Braja Janagandana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. सदस्यमान भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद से अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giridham ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadvip Dham ki jai, Swami to Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Swami to Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. From Srimad Bhagavatam 1:1:1. Narayanam namaskritya. Narayanam namaskritya. Naram cheva narottamam. Naram cheva narottamam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam. Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat. Tato Jayam Mudirayat. One should utter the means of conquest, Srimad Bhagavatam, after offering respectful obeisances, 1, to the personality of Godhead Narayana, 2, to the Narayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, 3, to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then 4, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author, from Srimad Bhagavatam 1-4. Welcome everyone to this reading and discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. As we do every week, we will be reading a few selected verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam itself, from the first canto, second chapter, which explains the meaning and the benefit of hearing this powerful transcendental literature. Yadanudyasina yukta karma garanti nibandhanam chindanti kovidastasya kona kuryat kataratim. Intelligent persons do cut off the internet of the knot of reactionary work by remembrance of the personality of Godhead. Therefore, who will not give attention to his message? Shushrushoho shraddadhanasya vasudeva kataruchihi syanmahat sevaya vipra punyatirtanishevanat. O the twice-born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all ranges of vice, a standard of great service is done, and as the result of such great service, affinity in the messages of Vasudeva is made possible. Shrinvatam svakatah Krishnaha punyashravana kirtanaha hridyantasto hyabadrani vidunoti suritsatam. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, does cleanse the desire for material enjoyment in the heart of the devotee, who has developed the urge for hearing his, Krishna's messages, which are themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Nashtaprayeshu vabhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. By regular attendance in the Bhagavatam class, or rendering service unto the pure devotees. All that is inauspicious in the heart of a candidate becomes destroyed almost to nil, and thus loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, comes into being an irrevocable fact. Tadarajastamo bhava kamalo badayaschaye chitaeterana viddam stitam sattve prasidati. As soon as irrevocable loving service is fixed up in one's heart, at that time the effects of the nature's mode of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire and hankerings, etc., do disappear from one's heart, and he becomes fixed up in the mode of goodness, which makes him completely happy. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha bhagavad tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayati. Thus, when one is positively fixed up in a mode of unalloyed goodness, the enlivened-minded man affected by contact of devotional service of the Lord can positively know scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. Vidyate hridaya grantis chidyante sarvasamshaya kshiyante chasya karmani drishta evatmanishvare. The knot of one's heart is thus pierced, and all misgivings are cut into pieces. The chain of fruitive actions are terminated along with the seeing of oneself, the dominating factor. We will proceed with our specific verse for today. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, text number 9. Should be noted that this reading and discussion is being conducted on the basis of the original 1962 New Delhi Bhagavatam, and all English synonyms, translations, and purport are by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, also known as the Krishna Consciousness Movement. Sri Saunaka Uvacha Saven Vriti Nirataha Sarvatra Upekshaka Munihi Kasyava Vriatimetam Ātmārāma Samabhyasat. Sri Saunaka Uvacha. Sri Saunaka asked, Sa he, Vai, of course, Nivriti, on the path of self-realization. Nirataha, always engage. Sarvata, in every respect. Upekshaka, indifferent. Munihi, sage. Kasya, for what reason? Brihatim, vast. Etam, this. Ātmārāma, one who is pleased by himself. Samabhyasat, undergone the studies. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Saunaka inquired from Suta Gosvāmī. Sri Śukadeva Gosvāmī was already on the path of self-realization, and as such, he was pleased with his own self. Then what was the reason that he also took the trouble of undergoing such vast literature? Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. For the people in general, the highest perfection of life is to cease from material activities and be fixed up in the path of self-realization. Those who take pleasure in the matter of sense enjoyment, or in other words, those who are fixed up in the matter of material bodily welfare work, are called the karmis. Out of such thousands and crores of karmis, one may become an Ātmārāma by self-realization. Atma means self, and Rama means to take pleasure. Everyone is searching after the highest pleasure, but the standard of pleasure of one may be different from the standard of other. Therefore, the standard of pleasure enjoyed by the karmis is different from that of the Ātmāramas. The Ātmāramas are completely indifferent in the matter of material enjoyment in every respect. Srila Śukadeva Gosvāmī already attained that stage, and still he was attracted for undergoing the trouble of studying the great Bhagavatam literature. This means that Srimad Bhagavatam is the postgraduate study even for the Ātmāramas, who have had surpassed all the studies of Vedic knowledge. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namaum Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhaktivedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasmai Gurave Namaha. Bhagavad Vandanam Khadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Charkara Yuktam Kadatehi Visheshataham Adadana Strinam Danteridam Yachi Punaha Punaha Srimadrupa Padam Bhoja Dulisyam Janma Janmani Amsho Bhagavatosmyaham Sadadaso Asmi Sarvatam Tat Kripa Pikshako Nityam Tat Preshta Shat Karomi Svam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this particular text from Srimad Bhagavatam is a very nice description of the exalted position of Sri Śukadeva Gosvāmī. Prabhupada has explained in another place that Śukadeva Gosvāmī heard the entire Srimad Bhagavatam while he was in the womb of his mother. He was a self-realized soul that had no eagerness or no desire to take part in the temporary pleasures of this material world. And Prabhupada is explaining here about the position. He says, out of thousands and millions of such karmis, one may become an Ātmārāma by self-realization. Atma means self, and Arama means to take pleasure. Everyone is searching after the highest pleasure, but the standard of pleasure of one may be different from the standard of another. Therefore, the standard of pleasure enjoyed by the karmis is different from that of the Ātmāramas. Prabhupada further explains, the Ātmāramas are completely indifferent to material enjoyment in every respect. Srila Śukadeva Gosvāmī had already attained that stage, and still he was attracted to undergo the trouble of studying the great Bhagavatam literature. This means that Srimad Bhagavatam is a postgraduate study, even for the Ātmāramas, who have surpassed all the studies of Vedic knowledge. Now, this is very important, Many times while preaching, Prabhupada would quote a verse from the Padma Purana. It's also quoted in the Bhagavad Gita and some of his purports. Ramante yuginanante satyananda chidatmani iti rama padenasu param brahma abhidiyate. What this means, that great yogis and self-realized souls, Ātmāramas, take pleasure in hearing the name of Lord Rama. Satyananda chidatmani, they rejoice in the self. Also in the Bhagavad Gita itself, there is reference in many places that a self-realized soul is not attracted to the temporary pleasures of this world, but takes shelter of the transcendental pleasure of hearing the name of Lord Krishna and the hearing the name of Lord Rama. Now, this is very important because many times people will ask, well, you Hare Krishna people, how do you derive your happiness? If you do not engage in illicit sex, in eating meat, in intoxication, in going to cinema, dancing, restaurants, and all of these things that are considered so-called pleasurable by people in the material world, how do you derive pleasure? That verse nicely explained this. Ramante yoginanante chidatmana satyananda chidatmani. This is very important. We see that Prabhupada in the Bhagavad Gita explains that in order to enjoy higher pleasure, one has to give up the lower pleasure. This is called pravriti and nivritti. There's an interesting lecture of Prabhupada on a morning walk on May 13th, 1975 in Perth, Australia. Morning walk on May 13th, 1975. Prabhupada explains, nescience, yes, this is pravriti and nivritti. Pravriti means sense enjoyment, and nivritti means self-negation. Just get rid of this here. So when we say that you shall not have illicit sex, and their inclination is illicit sex, so therefore it is revolutionary. They are materialistic persons. They want sex enjoyment to the best capacity. Homosex, dick sex, that sex, naked dance, all sexually inclined, pravriti. And when we say stop this, nibritti, they do not like it because asura, pravriti jagat, they do not know this is essential. They do not know it. This is essential. Tapasa brahmacharyena, Srimad Bhagavatam 6.1.13. Tapasya means brahmacharya. The so-called Swami is there coming for this so-called yoga practice, but they are themselves victims of sex. This is going on. Actually, it is a bluff. They have become Swami and teaching some yoga system because they do not know one has to stop this, first of all, brahmacharyena. So this bluffing is going on all over the world. And we are speaking just against them. Murkadesho upadesho himurkanam prakopaya nashantaye. If you give instruction to the rascals, he will simply be angry. He will not take advantage of it. This is our position. All the so-called professors, philosophers, they're all in the pravriti marg. Therefore, they are bringing somebody. Our interpretation is like this, pravriti marg. Because if they can find out some support from the Shastra, then they think we are secure. This is going on. Pravritim cha nivritim navidur asuraha. So this is very important because most people are searching pleasure in the wrong places. They're searching pleasure in this temporary material body, which cannot give the kind of pleasure that we are looking for. This is described in so many places in the Bhagavatam. In the Manu Samhita, there is description that the animals and the human, Ahara nidra bayamaitунancha samanyadedat pashubihi naranam. That both the animals and the human have the same basic characteristics: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. But what differentiates the human being from the animals is that pravritirishya bhutanam nivritir tu mahapalam. This tendency for pravriti or sense enjoyment is there with all living entities. But by nivriti, by control, by renunciation, a greater result is achieved. Ram Raghava is a special, here we go. Prabhupada explained, nivriti means to stop. Pravritir isha bhutanam, nivritis tu mahafalam. Indian man, nivriti, Prabhupada, nivritis tu mahafalam. Here at the present moment, not at the present moment, always in the material world, the desire is that I shall become the greatest enjoyer. I shall become king. I shall become minister. And at last I shall become God. Laughter, you see? So this is the false pravriti. And one who can cut down this rascal propensity, he is successful. But I'm neither king, neither a minister, neither am going to become God. I am a tiny living entity being kicked by the Maya like football. When it comes to this understanding, he is in knowledge. So this is very important point. In the material world, everyone is running everywhere, hankering and lamenting. Sochati kankshati. We see in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna explained, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nasochati Nakamshati. Hello, hello. Whoever is speaking, you're interrupting the class. Thank you. So Krishna explains, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nasochati Nakamshati. Sabha sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. In order to reach that platform of actual bhakti for Lord Krishna, first one has to come to that platform of Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma, of joyful transcendental life. And then the lamentation and constant hankering will cease. If you carefully look all around you, all around the world, wherever you are, there are so many newspapers, radio, internet programs, so many different propaganda media. What is it based on? Kankshati, sochati. They're trying to allure people to enjoy in this material world. Here we go. Here's the actual verse. Thank you, Ram Raghava. Let's see the translation of the verse. One who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the supreme Brahman. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Prabhupada explains in the purport, to the impersonalist, achieving the Brahma Bhuta stage, becoming one with the absolute is the last word. But for the personalist or pure devotee, one has to go still further to become engaged in pure devotional service. This means that one who is engaged in pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord is already in a state of liberation called Brahma Bhuta, oneness with the absolute. Without being one with the Supreme, the Absolute, one cannot render service unto him. In the absolute conception, there is no difference between the served and the servitor. Yet the distinction is there in a higher spiritual sense. So this is very important, that the engagement in activities of bhakti, Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyamatma Nivedanam, that these activities under the direction and authority of the bona fide realized Acharya like Srila Prabhupada, that these activities will bring one to that stage of stopping all the lamentation and the hankering. Why do people go to school to become educated? Why are they trying to get better jobs? They're constantly hankering, thinking that if some way or other I get more money, I will get a better situation, I'll be happy. They work hard, they go to school, they change job, this job, that job. Are they happy? Does the constant hankering stop? Nope. It never stops. It goes on perpetually. And when they're not happy with that, sochati, lamentation. Look in the newspaper every day. Constant lamentation. This person did this group did that, this government agent did this president did that. Constantly complaining because this is the nature of the material world. They're never satisfied here. Never. The only way to be satisfied is the recommendation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Stani stitaha sruti gatan tanuvan manobhir ye praya so ajito jito apita srilokyam. That remain stani stitaha in whatever situation you are and learn and hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. Are we able to display that picture of Lord Chaitanya hearing the Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit? No? Yes, maybe. There was a picture of Lord Chaitanya. He's hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit. He has Advaita Acharya, Haridas Thakur, and so many of the associates in Jagannath Puri. And Lord Chaitanya is attentively hearing the transcendental Bhagavatam as recited by his personal confidential associate, Gadadhar Pandit. I sent it to him during the program in the beginning, so I don't know if he's able to display. But this is the program that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prescribed to come out of this lamentation problem. It is not difficult. It is not complicated. It is very easy. Simply want us to hear the message of Srimad Bhagavatam from a self-realized soul. Speaking of Ātmārāma, I was told a story when I went from Montreal to Los Angeles in 1970. One devotee told me a very nice story that Prabhupada was in a room one time with one of his managers, and he told him, "Do you know the difference between you and me?" And devotee says, "No." I says, "If I was in a room with 10 naked, attractive women," Prabhupada said, "I would not be agitated in the least, and you would be agitated. That is the difference." He says, now you have to raise yourself to that platform by chanting and hearing the Bhagavatam. We'll leave at that. Back to you in the studio, Vishwakarma. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, there's a big difference between a self-realized soul and a conditioned soul. And Prabhupada demonstrated his transcendental position by his actions. Because actions speak louder than words. People like to talk. We call it in the Vaishnava circles, prajalpa. The flapping of the tongue. And people like to hear themselves talk. They're actually, most of the time they're speaking, they're just listening to themselves. And they use this expression, Rochisha Devidasi, in the English language. They talk like this. "Oh, I went there and I saw these people. It was really good, right? And then I went here and there, right?" Now they're trying to confirm that you're listening to them and they're saying that you're going to say right to them. And if you don't say right, they turn around and say to you, "Are you listening to me?" Well, what do you want me to do? Say, right, that I agree with you? Because you're speaking nonsense and you want me to say, right, because you think that I'm not listening? Right? No, wrong. It's not right. You're talking to yourself, your own false ego, your own state of confusion and bewilderment. And you live in phantasmagoria. Why don't you go to Disneyland and have some fun with your kids? Why don't you do that, Mr. Right? No, you're not right. You're wrong. You're in Maya. Maya is the issue, Vijaya Pandit. That's what there are two states. You're either liberated or you're caught in the illusion that you're the body, the mind, and this world is real. It's not real. And it's hard for us to understand that. I know that. And I showed the picture yesterday, Ram Raghava, of our friend Gopal. I put it on the screen. It was sad, unfortunate. But this is reality. You can say whatever you want. Everything ends at the time of death. Everything ends. And Prabhupada mentioned in your discussion that the rascals will be angry. Yes, when we tell them the truth, they get mad. Don't say that to me. I'll be happy driving my Lamborghini or Maserati. I have a friend. She has a friend who drives a Maserati. Oh. And is he happy? No, he's confused. There's no happiness there. So rascals will get angry when we speak the truth. They even get angry with us. Yes. So many people get mad because we're telling them that this is a fraud, what you believe in. Even our God brothers, they get angry with us. So much trouble. And what is it meant to do for us, Ram Raghava? Reveal the madness of this insane asylum. I was thinking that last night after Abhimanyu came back from Rath Yatra. And it was packed, that's what I was told. There was like 40, 50,000 people at Rath Yatra in Toronto. All Hindu. A Hindu celebration, it's evolved to that. It's come a long way, huh? I can remember in 1973, we tried to build the carts next to the Gerrard Street Temple. And when we tried to move them off the yard, the wheels fell off. And there was no cart. So we took the deities in a car and we drove down the street on the parade route. And that was the Rath Yatra. So it's changed. It's become somehow or other, the switching to Toronto Island that I did created this fantasy. Oh, let's go over to the island. We used to go to City Hall, and I thought, this is not a good spot. Let's go to the island. Now it's very difficult to go there. It's a problem. But at any rate, it's a fantasy that people go to it. And it's a Hindu celebration. It's not Rath Yatra. It's called the Festival of India. It's changed. And if we speak about it as such, people get angry. Vishva, don't say that. That's not polite. We're not here to be polite. We're here to tell the truth and hear it for ourselves and for the people that are with us, that are associating with us on this mission to try to protect the legacy of Srila Prabhupada that's been distorted by our God brothers. And the rascals will be angry. They'll get mad. Oh, yes. And we've seen in the past, actually, the anger has been translated into very serious crimes, tragically. So our mission, Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Dudiskritam. Krishna came to destroy the demons. Yes, he did. And he did quite effectively. I just finished the chapter where Kamsa was killed by Krishna by his own personal hands. It was, I was really celebrating. I was so glad he did it. But Lord Chaitanya came, and Nityananda Prabhu reminded him that he had come to destroy the demoniac mentality of the people, not the actual physical forms. And that's our job. We're not here to wage war on the bodies of other conditioned souls, but to wage war on the illusion that you are the body and that the purpose of life is to enjoy sense gratification, because it's going to be futile in the end. Now, people get angry with us. Why do you say that? You're going to spoil my happiness. There is no happiness in this world. Know it for certain. Sage Prabhupada says to Maharaj Nimi, there is no happiness. It appears to be, but it is a mirage. It's an illusion. That real happiness is on the transcendental platform of hearing the message of Bhagavatam from the bona fide spiritual master, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and no other way. This other thing, they're angry from us because we're telling them it's a fraud. But the fact of the matter is, it's the truth. It is a fraud. And there's confusion, so much confusion. And we're hearing about it every day as we move forward. Yes. And it's unfortunate, like I said. But this is the material world. It's a place of misfortune where people are unlucky, misguided. In the Kali Yuga, people are deceived by cover-up, misinformation, and sentimentality. Very sentimental. Now, someone would say, don't say that, you're making me angry. Oh, gee, heck, darn, you're too bad. And we always tell people, Yashoda, call us up. Please, let's have a talk. We're not here to argue. We're here to clarify the facts. This isn't an argument. It takes two people to argue. We're not arguing. In fact, if you don't want to accept, you're quite free to go ahead and follow whatever you want in your phantasmagoria, the world of fantasy. And then when you're on your deathbed, maybe you might be blessed, but I doubt it. Because death is coming. Don't think, there's a famous poem, Yashoda, by Henry Wordsworth. I think it's Wordsworth. I think it's Henry. Called Death the Reaper. Do you remember reading that, Ruchisha, when you were in high school? Death the Reaper. It's a poem about how death comes every day and takes its crop. That's what it is. Every day, millions of thousands, tens of thousands of people are dying in front of our eyes. And you know, you see it all the time. Like when I go to Mexico, it's much more open there, because every time you turn around, there's some kind of traffic jam in Yotepec. And what is it? Well, it's a funeral. There's a funeral going on. This person died, that person died. And they're out there with the band, and the people walking along, and they do their rituals, and then they take the person to wherever they're going to go. And it's goodbye, Charlie. And then you're forgotten in the world of names. The world of names? What is the value of a name? Bob and Jim and Peter and Helen and Mary. Does it mean anything, Rochisha Devi Dasi? Does it mean anything to anybody else if Bill or Stan or Ralph or Ricky dies? And by the way, who are they? Who knows? In a world of 8 billion people on one planet, of billions of planets in one universe, of billions of universes in God's creation, and you think you're important? That is false ego. Oh, but don't get angry at me, please, Prabhu. I'm going to be the servant of my bogus guru for the rest of my life. You know what I told that Prabhu? Bro, you're doomed. And then he blocked me on Facebook. But he was polite. I appreciated it. He wasn't arrogant. He wasn't mad. He just blocked me, which I like because then it doesn't waste our time. Our most valuable asset, Prabhus, is our time. And if we use our time properly in the service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada to propagate this mission that we're on, you will be successful in this life, guaranteed. Don't waste time. Think about it. Make an asset. Look, we all waste time. I know that. It's not a criticism of us. It's an awakening process there where we're trying to get better. And by the way, thank you everyone for attending our classes because we're getting a lot of compliments from new people, all the people that are coming, of the content, the new content that we've created for all of us to hear. These Prabhupada sections, the 2 lectures, the kirtans, and we got a new kirtan at the end. I'm glad to report that our copyright thing, we've seemed to overcome it at Ram Raghava. Wow, that was such a storm. Personally, for me, it was such a storm. You know, it's strange. I'm always kind of worried about everything, in a sense, that everything works all right. And when it doesn't, it's on my mind all the time. Oh God, what are we going to do about these copyrights, and how are we going to get this out to the public, and how are we going to succeed in our work to distribute the Bhagavatams? And there's all kinds of things on the mind. But I'm glad to say today the Facebook post came right up on my network, and then I shared it out. And I want all of you to do the same thing. Like I have a series of groups. I have about 25, 30 groups that I send out to. Like, for example, I send to the disciples of Gopal Krishna, our classes. And someone wrote a comment. In the comments, they wrote, how can you post these, one of the Gopal Krishna, how can you post these classes when they're directly criticizing Gopal Krishna? And somehow they keep posting it. I love it. You know, we're not really against anybody. We're just trying to explain this. And we're going to go to our next section of the program. Yashodanandana, please, if you could carry on.
Thank you for this analysis. We are reading from a little booklet that was compiled in 1993 in Badger, California. It's called Missing Pieces in the Puzzle. This is an analysis of various questions that were being raised by different devotees at the time. And to date, we have never really received credible reply to these points. We're reading from page number 3, point number 2, and this deals with various recordings of conversations which took place in Vrindavan on May 28, 1977. First, last time we dealt with this, we discussed, according to the admission of the secretary, there were discussions of Ritvik Acharya appointment or selections by Srila Prabhupada. There could be two possibilities. A, there was one singular conversation where Srila Prabhupada, prior to May 28, 1977, where Srila Prabhupada discussed about future appointment or selection of Ritvik Acharyas. This conversation would have necessarily included two parties, Srila Prabhupada and the said secretary. B, there may have been many conversations prior to May 28, 1977, where Srila Prabhupada discussed about future appointment or selection of Ritvik Acharyas. This conversation would have necessarily included at least two parties or more, Srila Prabhupada and his secretary, and potentially some other GBCs. Number two, if there are recordings of the said conversation, then where are they? The recordings of the said conversations, again, several possibilities. A, the secretary has the tape of those recordings and has yet to reveal it to the devotees for reasons only known to himself. B, the secretary did not record any of that conversation or those conversations. In that case, why not? C, the secretary and some other GBCs do have the tapes of the recordings of that single or many conversations, and they do not wish to reveal it for reasons only known to themselves. D, some other GBCs besides the secretary may have knowledge of those tapes and have neglected to make those tapes available to the devotees. As of writing of this paper in 1993, no recording of this conversation which Srila Prabhupada referred to by the secretary has ever surfaced. Where did it go? Thus, it is often asked, why were the conversations with Srila Prabhupada, especially in the last few months of His Divine Grace's manifested presence, withheld from the devotees by the GBC, Governing Body Commission, until 1990-1991? And why was there only a limited printing of those important conversations? Why has there been restrictions on the reprinting of those conversations? And so many devotees ask why there are still so many unexplained gaps. Why is it that according to Satsvarup Gosvāmī in a paper submitted to the whole movement, he admits that the majority of Srila Prabhupada's disciples have not accepted the so-called guru appointment idea? Why was the so-called guru selection or appointment not announced by Srila Prabhupada himself during his manifested presence? Why did the GBC have to wait until after Srila Prabhupada's departure to publicly announce the so-called appointment? Many devotees still ask why this whole issue of guru appointment has never been fully and thoroughly investigated by the GBC, along with a full-fledged public disclosure and discussion of all the relevant contextual conversation. See Appendix number 1. Number 2, public statement by Guru and GBC representative on December 3rd, 1980 in Topanga Canyon, California, regarding missing recording of conversations on or before July 7th conversation with Srila Prabhupada in the garden in Vrindavan, India. GBC representative. Later on, there was a piled up list of people to get initiated, and it was jammed up. I said, Srila Prabhupada, you once mentioned about Ritviks. I don't know what to do. We don't want to approach you, but there's hundreds of devotees named, and I'm just holding all the letters. I don't know what you want to do. Srila Prabhupada said, all right, I will appoint so many. and he started to name them, and he did name them. Note, this above statement is a paraphrasing of part of the July 7th, 1977 conversation in Srila Prabhupada's garden, where the secretary refers to Srila Prabhupada's nomination of Ritvik Acharyas to conduct initiations on his behalf. We will continue this reading on Wednesday during the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita reading. Hopefully we can get the actual text displayed at that time. I will send you the documents again. Back to you in the studio. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Very interesting, huh? Missing pieces in the unfolding story of the evolution or de-evolution of the ISKCON movement. Tragic. It's truly tragic. Eh? And actually, I'm thinking it's a huge scam. Some people can see it, a lot of people can't. In fact, the majority of devotees don't see it, and it's $100 million scam. I've talked about that, Yashodanandana Prabhu, about copyright. We've experienced that, and at the end of the class today, I've changed the music from the Jamaican chant to, it's the new Hare Krishna Funk Parade. I recorded this a few years ago. We're using it because we know that we have the legitimate rights to use it, because everything is convoluted online. You're not sure. I was worried about even that music at the opening today, Prabhu. I thought, geez, I hope that Rupa Gosvāmī got this, it's cleared. And I'm happy to report that the stream is steady now on Facebook again today for the first time in months. We've had trouble and it was steady. So it's a good sign. Let's see what happens, Ram Raghava, as we move forward. But the point of copyright is a real issue. Now, when it comes to hundreds of millions of dollars of thievery, is that an issue? Well, they claim they've sold 500 million books, 500 million books. Now, if it's $1 each for that, that's $500 million. If it's $2, that's $1 billion. Think about that, Yashodanandana. Is that a real issue? Well, with most people that run a religious organization, they would be very concerned. Well, how is it that this cover-up has gone on for so long? Because no one speaks up. You know, devotees are try not to get into confrontation. This isn't a confrontation. It is a revelation of what has gone on, Vijaya Pandit. Look at the thievery that's gone on. How much is that building in Italy worth? The one temple there. How much is it worth? 10 million? Who knows? I know Toronto's worth millions. In Canada, the real estate assets are over $100 million. Just the assets in the real estate. And in different places in the world, they take these properties. I just saw a post today in regards to Bir Krishna, where one of his followers, donated a house to him. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's millions and millions of dollars. What is one of the most opulent or richest organizations in the world, Ram Raghava? The Catholic Church. Why? Because people are going to die and they're going to donate. So this is going on in the ISKCON fake guru world. Change books, change guru system, lack of transcendental realization of Prabhupada. It's still alive in sound vibration. He who reasons ill thinks that Vaishnavas die. That's what they do. All of them. our God brothers that promote this Vapu philosophy to others and present fake gurus to people based on GBC resolutions are creating the greatest sin in the history of Vaishnava Sampradaya teachings. And this is tragic. And we are going to, as long as we're living, we're going to, as long as we're living, we're going to work towards exposing this. And you may be angry, Vijaya Pandit. They're going to kick you out of their programs, aren't they? Don't distribute these books. Don't distribute. Here's that beautiful book he has. I have a copy here. Excuse me, everybody. I have a stack of books here. All original books. And look at this book here. Look at that one. Acharya for the Golden Age. Oh, let's kick him out. Let's kick this rogue out, Vijaya Pandit. Let's get mad at him. Oh yeah, that's brilliant. That's brilliant, everyone. This is going on in the name of so-called the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's a great atrocity. Okay, enough of that. And thank you, Yashoda Nandana, for this new section, Missing Pieces in the Puzzle. You know, it's not fault finding. We're going over the facts. If you don't like it, oh well. Do what you have to do. Let's say, it's like you always say, you know, to whom it may concern. And who is it? To the liars and cheaters that are propagating this. Ram Raghava, how many people are at the YouTube section? And any questions, or do you have a question yourself? Prabhu, Ram Raghava in Georgia.
No, Prabhu, there were up to 9 people on YouTube live stream. Right now there are 7. One person made a comment. He was asking about who the fellow was who was called Gurudev. He had heard a lecture from him in London a long time ago, but was very put off by him.
Oh, well, we don't know what the lecture was. There's thousands of them. And
I think it was Tamal Krishna Gosvāmī he's talking about. He was
oh,
he left
wow.
he left ISKCON after that lecture because he was so put off.
Very interesting. And by the way, Prabhus, there's some fellow in Philippines. His name is Ram Rajasi or something like that. He's a Tamal Krishna disciple and somehow or other, I try to explain to him over the last couple of years that he's been defrauded, and he is completely convinced. And now he initiates people himself on behalf of himself in the disciplic succession from Tamal Krishna. Can you imagine? So how do we look at that? I look at it like this. This is all education for us, and we just stay calm and carry on with what we're doing, which is telling the truth, despite the fact, Vijaya Pandit, that they'll get angry at you. They'll kick you out. Go. Did you leave? No, you didn't. And did they do anything? No, because they're who they are. Cheaters. They're cheaters. They're cheaters and the cheated. That's what we're dealing with. Ram Raghava, what we're going to do is we're going to go to our next section, which is another Prabhupada lecture. Go ahead, introduce it. Please, thank you.
Okay, Prabhu. This lecture is also about 4 minutes.
Okay.
And it's called Vaikuntha Means Without Anxiety. I can go ahead and start it whenever you're ready.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Vandeham This is not that in this association you have to do this. You can learn this art and you can have it in your home. You can also prepare such preparation, nice preparation at your home, offer to Krishna. That is not very difficult. We every day prepare and offer to Krishna and chant the mantra, Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Jagat Bhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo. That's all. It is not very hard. Everyone can prepare this food stuff and offer to Krishna and then take it, and then with family members or with friends we can sit down and chant before the picture of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and live a pure life. Just see the result. If every home, every person takes to this principle of understanding Krishna, it will become, the whole world will become Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means where there is no anxiety. Vaikuntha, Vai means without, and Kuntha means anxiety. This world is full of anxiety. Sada samadvigna dhiya asadgraha. Because we have accepted this temporary existence of material life, therefore we are always encumbered with anxiety. Just the opposite thing is there in the spiritual world, where the planets are called Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means without anxiety. We want to be free from anxiety. Everyone is trying to get himself free from anxiety, but he does not know how to get out of this anxiety. This taking shelter of intoxication is no use to get oneself free from anxiety. It is a drug. It is oblivion. Sometimes you forget everything. But again, when you come to your consciousness, the same anxiety and same thing are there. So this will not help you. If you want to be free from anxiety, and if you want actually life eternal with bliss and knowledge, then this is the process. This is the process. You have to understand Krishna. Here it is clearly stated that Name Vidu Suragava, nobody can understand. But there is a way. Sevanmukhihi jivadu Gosvāmī Vaspuratana. This is a process. There are several places in Srimad Bhagavatam, this process is described in a different way. Just like in one place it is stated that Jnani prayasam mudapasanamantaiva sanmukharitang bhavadiyavartam jivanti sanmukharitang bhavadiyavartam thane sthita sutigatang tanuvang manovi je prayasha ajita jitopasistai sthirapyam. It is very nice verse. It is said that Ajita, nobody can know. God's another name is Ajita. Ajita means nobody can conquer him. Nobody can approach him. Therefore his name is Ajita. So Ajita becomes conquered. Ajitopi jitopashi. Although the Lord is unknowable, the Lord is unconquerable, still he is conquered. How? Nastoi thane sthita.
Yes, the process of Krishna consciousness is very simple. Simple for the simple and difficult for the crooked. For those that want to deceive, they can find different ways and means to do that and attract innocent people to follow them. So, Vaikuntha, Prabhupada said in this short clip, means that which is free from anxiety. But you must be connected properly. And the proper connection is through Prabhupada's Vani incarnation, his sound. He reasons ill that thinks Vaishnavas die. This is their confusion. And their plan of deception. Don't be naive to think that people aren't manipulating others, because that's what life is, based on the principle of Maya. And it's very easy to understand. Maya is everywhere. And we are free from anxiety because we are connected properly. And I'm going to ask you to speak in a minute, Yashoda. I wanted to mention first beforehand, I want to thank Roy in Mississippi, especially. Dr. Roy is in Mississippi, and he called me yesterday in the afternoon, and he started off with one set of Bhagavatams. And we have a special wholesale price for the Bhagavatams. So when I told him the wonderful price, very cheap, we paid over $200 with shipping to order Bhagavatams from other suppliers in our preparation for the printing of these books. And we're offering even our retail price of $59. We have a special wholesale price for people that want to distribute them to other people. And you can call me at 289-244-4315, and we'll set you up as a distributor, and we'll give you the best price. And you can, he says to me, Roy in Mississippi, he goes, I gave him the price. He goes, gee, I think I can just buy them and give them out. So it went from one order, it went to 6 sets, Yashodanandana. 6 sets. And then it's our hope that after he distributes the 6 sets, there's just hardly any, as he said, there's some Prabhupada disciples there that are in hiding. They're part of the ISKCON group, but they're in hiding. They don't want to tell people that they're Prabhupada disciples, really, because, and they only accept the original books because they kicked them out. Can you imagine that? They kicked them off the property because they're preaching the truth. So this is people getting angry. Rascals will be angry. Yashodanandana, Prabhu, maybe you could give us some final comments, and then we'll move to our next section. Hare Krishna.
Well,
go ahead.
It was well known that Srila Prabhupada built a society that the whole world could live in, but this current society that allegedly represents Prabhupada, very few people can live in it. Why? Because of deviations from Prabhupada teachings. And that is why we've taken the task of reprinting the original 1962 Bhagavatam to give devotees an opportunity to engage themselves in some service and also to go very deep into studying this particular canto. I've heard personally from a devotee who was there in 1967 with Srila Prabhupada, and this devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, what is so important about this particular 3-volume set that you brought from India? And Prabhupada's reply says, I did not know if I was going to survive very long, so I put everything, all of my teachings, in the first canto of the Bhagavatam. And when you carefully study this Bhagavatam, just like we've made several references in the past about the creation of the material world. Well, if you look in Canto 1, Chapter 3, text number 1, Canto 1, Chapter 3, text number 1, if you look in that purport, there are so many elaborate, detailed descriptions of how the creation of the material world takes place. And in the first canto, there are so many descriptions of philosophical, very important philosophical points which are made. So this is a very important for devotees who want to go very deep into the study of Prabhupada's teachings. First thing is the Bhagavad Gita, then the Srimad Bhagavatam. But Bhagavatam, the first canto, is very, very important. And we see how Prabhupada explains the entire process of bhakti Just like every time we have a Bhagavatam class, we read from some select verses from Canto 1, Chapter 2, where Prabhupada explains the process of bhakti. Now, this is very important for devotees. Take the time to study these purports by Srila Prabhupada, go very deep into the subject matter, and relish that transcendental nectar from his divine grace. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yes, and that's a very good point, Yashodanandana Prabhu, how you stress the information that everything is in summary in the first canto, because Prabhupada was concerned that he may pass without notice. You know, none of us know. And it's interesting to note that when you read the first volume, the introduction, there's a question. I always wondered, why is it that we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, but in the introduction, there's a 40-page explanation of the appearance of Lord Chaitanya? The pastimes of Lord Chaitanya in summary, because Prabhupada was seeing into the future, and he wanted to make sure that he would also give that information, which is critical for us to understand the whole process of the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya and how it's connected with the distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam. Very interesting. Prabhupada seeing into the future and being cautious to make sure he utilized his time to give all the information as much as possible while he was able to. Brilliant. True genius. A true genius. And he's present, living in his sound vibration, which is bhakti yoga. And yoga means to link with God in sound. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Archanam, Padasevanam. This process is simple for the simple and very difficult for the deceivers. If you want to be deceived, there'll be people that will deceive you. And this is the tragedy of this situation we're in. And we'll overcome it. Are you optimistic, Rochisha Devi Dasi? Thank you. I call on her because I know she approves. I don't want to have asked someone else, oh, will you achieve that? No, you won't. It's too difficult. There's a problem. No, we like yes, not no. So, Ram Raghava, what's the next section in our wonderful Nectarian program? Tell us.
Next, Prabhu, we're going to have a short kirtan for almost 3 minutes with Srila Prabhupada, followed by a recitation of the 10 offenses, and then one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada, followed by the Vaishnava Pranam, or prayers to the devotees of the Lord.
And then the closing statements, and then some further nectar, I believe you said.
Yes.
Some video
that we haven't played yet of Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, I had Joe Felice sent me a note privately. He said, can you send me that video? I said, well, I haven't seen it yet, but, we'll try to make the arrangement and you can send it off to people. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, and thank you, everyone, for this participation in the transcendental pastime of the Sankirtan movement, headed up by the Prabhupada Disciples Association, Hare Krishna Society. Haribol. Radharani, oh, by the way, we're going to send you your books. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 8, Offenses to be Avoided. The offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. First, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Sometimes the atheistic class of men take it that any demigod is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. But one who is a devotee knows that no demigod, however great he may be, is independently as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, if someone thinks that he can chant Kali, Kali or Durga, Durga, and it is the same as Hare Krishna, that is the greatest offense. Third, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Fourth, to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. Fifth, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Sixth, to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. Seventh, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. Because by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can be freed from all kinds of sinful reactions. It should not be taken that one may continue to act sinfully and after that chant Hare Krishna to neutralize his sins. Such a dangerous mentality is very offensive and should be avoided. 8th, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities. Karma Kanda. 9th, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Anyone can take part in chanting the holy name of the Lord, but in the beginning one should not be instructed about the transcendental potency of the Lord. Those who are too sinful cannot appreciate the transcendental glories of the Lord, and therefore it is better not to instruct them in this matter. 10th, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names, and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Radha Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Ram.
Let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances. We all offer our respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So the following is a footage of Srila Prabhupada in Bombay, and I hope everyone enjoys it. If it's copyrighted, we may not be able to play it again, so please enjoy it this time.
Nityananda Mahajan Nadia Gojum Nityananda Mahajan Hatya Chinam Hat Jibera Karan Hatya Chinam Hat Jibera Karan Shradhavan Jan hai, Shradhavan Jan hai, Shradhavan Jan hai, Shradhavan Jan hai, Prabhu Agai Bhai Magiye Bhikha, Prabhu Agai Bhai Magiye Bhikha. Bhajo Krishna Koro Krishna Shika Bolo Krishna Bhajo Krishna Koro Krishna Shika Aparara Shunna Hoy Loho Krishna Naam Aparara Shunna Hoy Loho Krishna Naam Krishna Mato Krishna Pito Krishna Dana Pran Krishna Mato Krishna Pito Krishna Dana Pran Krishna Samsara Koro Charyana Cham Krishna Samsara Koro Charyana Cham Divedaya Krishna Nam Sarva Dharmasha Divedaya Krishna Nam Sarva Dharmasha Shradhavan Jana Hai Shradhavan Jana Hai Shradhavan Jana Hai Shradhavan Jana Hai Nadia Gojum Nityananda Mahajan Nadia Gojum Nityananda Mahajan Hatya আছে নাম হাতে জীবের কারণ বধি আছে নাম হাতে জীবের কারণ হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Bala Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Bala Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Bala Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare